Watcher were ready to create as a party, getting in there, going down the list for simplicity, skipping over the ones that they vetoed, which is both the 4-player maps is what they decided to avoid. So we got the red Terran up against the green Protoss once more. All set, game 2. And we're going into game 2. Go, go. So here we go. Getting all set to go into game 2. And look at me hotkeying. You got to check this nonsense out. I did try to promise myself that, for the most part, on my stream and on my YouTube, I do try to do kind of a PG thing. So I'm trying to keep myself from just swearing a blue streak is the plan there. There we go. Back on full screen. Awesome. Here we go. I'm pleased at my attempts to do everything here. So we're starting in on Derelict Watcher. And we're 1 game in favor of Rush, which is probably going to really relax him, because I think he was quite nervous going into most of this. Now, Griff did have a bit of an opportunity for that 4-gate, but I think it was just the lateness of the 4-gate, possibly due to the Mothership Core intent, but I don't mind. I'm going to try not to cough all that much, but it's actually helping. Oh, I need to drink with my other hand so I can move around with the mouse. That's my plan there. So, Griff, once again, sticking pretty close to home with the base there. Pretty much going to be looking at, let's get up the, all the peeps and whatnots, everyone's name. In case you forgot their names, I mean, come on. Because what is at stake right now is bragging rights. UCMOP and Tom deciding that, yes, they think that Griff is probably going to go with cheese right here. Didn't see that. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a Zealot rush unless we see a second gateway maybe go down here, or no gas on 14, but we will have to wait and see what happens there. Pretty standard opening from both halves, but that is because we are in the first minute and 46 seconds. No proxy barracks to speak of, no proxy pylon or cannon rush. I'm expecting to see quite a bit of cheese. I'm especially expecting to see the proxy oracles, because that is Griff's go-to build. Destroys me every time. I mean, yes, we're looking at a bit of a difference in EPM, but at the same time, pretty early scout going on here from Rush, where Griff is actually opting not to scout at all, which is, I'm not really going to go out and say ballsy, but certainly confident, I guess would be the method. But I think he's also pretty confident that he's going to see no cheese from Rush. So honestly, seeing a cheese game from Rush would be pretty cool, because then that is one of the few things that really trips Griff up, because Griff really gets going, and he will have you at about between 7 and 12 minutes is when he really gets going, and that is what is going on. So what I did mention to him is possibly early tech would be the way to go. So what Rush is noticing here is a single gas, cybernetics core, everything right here where it should be. There's a Marine is just going to stand here on the top. So now you're going to see Rush get ready, and there's the 400 minerals for the command center, and that's going to happen. This SCV is just probably going to come up here to Griff's third. This Zealot is just going to look around to see if maybe there's a bunker rush going on, which is pretty crafty move, deft maneuver. Going to be ready to start getting out the warp core, so everything's going out pretty well so far for Griff, getting on top of his builds, which I'm pretty happy about, because sometimes he does, well, he thinks he makes little mistakes like that. Not seeing that Zealot move out across the base, so decided not to do that kind of early little poke, peek, and harass. However, the Zealot is now going to have a look around and is just, wow, he's really paranoid about the cheese in this game. There's a Stalker's on its way out just there, and probably going to see maybe another unit. I think with this much gas, you're probably going to see either, oh, there we go. So the Mothership Core is coming out, but at the same time, once he gets another 100, I think we'll see a sentry in just a second. Meantime, just the units running around. Filling up this bunker is Rush, just to make sure that he's got everything that he needs. Griff is still just making dat money and doing the expand. So the 1-gate expand is what we've got here, and the pylon right next to it, despite the fact that, so we've got the Mothership Core and Stalker. Now the Zealot moved. Where did that Zealot go? Where'd he go? He went down here. There he is. He's just sitting down here at the third. So that's cool. The SCV is now going to come in for another look. Meantime, this SCV is also having a bit of a look. So what Rush is now going to see up here is, boom, yeah, there we go. There is a Nexus on its way in. It's going to get zapped and taken out Probably not going to see too much over here because it's just going to be more pylons. Not going to see any tech, not any Twilight Council or anything like that. Early kind of tech, or even a forge for that matter. So possibly Rush is going to be thinking to himself, all right, yeah, this is the way to do it. I'm just going to continue on. Mega racks, well, not mega racks, 3 racks. No factory just yet. Still getting into a little bit of the gas. So the income levels are pretty similar actually as we speak. I do like Griff's decision to go for the 1 gate expand and try to get the expansion up at the same time. Possibly now, Rush thinking about a 3rd. So I'm not sure if he's really thinking about some different things where he's not really playing against some... He's been playing against Plats and other top goldies and doing pretty well for himself. I would say about a 50% win rate. Griff also had about a 50% win rate, but he is facing up against the top of Silver, so I don't know what the huge differences are there. No, not saving up. I thought he might be saving up the 400 minerals to take a fast 3rd, but deciding to stick with the engineering bay, actually, is a curious decision there. Double engineering bay, so he's going to be going for, yeah, tech and basic barracks units and just sort of pumping everything out. So probably, now I'm not quite certain. We got the robotics facility, the forge, an additional gateway. So Griff, a bit low on units right now, but both sides pretty low on the army supply, mostly just macroing up, whereas you can see they are keeping a good eye on each... Well, I was going to say, Rush is keeping a good eye on Griff. Griff is just sort of going in blind and deciding, yeah, that sounds pretty good. So he's going to come up here, have a quick peek, and find out if there's a 3rd base, where I think he knows what he's going to see if he goes up to the natural. He is going to see an expansion, because he is just moving across the map here with this Zealot. He's about to land into a world of hurt, because all these Marines are going to come out. They don't have combat shield just yet, but I don't think... No hits come out of that Zealot. This hallucinated Phoenix, however, is going to get in here, and it is going to scout the expansion, but it's not going to see that it's mostly just tech, double engineering bay, and barracks. Not going to see much more than that. This observer, however, might see a little bit more until Rush does see the blur. We're going to find out whether or not Rush can spot the scan as it moves across the bunker. I'm not sure. We'll see where Rush's view is at the moment. And then there goes, the already missile turret. So he's pretty much ready to start deciding that the missile turret is going to hop up. There's a couple more. No, these are supply depots up the back. So he's got no missile turrets around the back. He's just going to put one at the front. Griff does deftly get around that. I'm going to use the word deftly a lot just because I like saying it. But there you go. And there is the EPM is still just about sort of in the low 50s right now for Rush. Griff just content to sit here, which I really feel like he'd like to move up and find out that he's up against. There's the starports. That's the M and M, but with the plus the 1-1 stim, concussive, and 1-1 is going to finish probably just this timing attack of all of this finishing all at the same time. And right now Griff is really just up against a small amount, but I'm hoping that this Phoenix is going to find out some excellent information right now. Once Griff sees that, there's the unit coming across, and he hopefully does see that. We're going to see what he's going to do to react to this. The starport is going on in the background. He does warp in a number more of Zealots, and now he's going to get set up. Moves the mothership core to the back to get ready for the time warp right here on the ramp. There comes the time warp. We're going to hit it. Oh, no, not quite. We're going to hit 2 Guardian Shields instead. And the Photon Overcharge. Decides to go for the defend against that. So we're probably going to hear some bad maneuver, some bad speak from Rush about that. Griff does have the army supply. So with that scout out, that was a fantastic scout out right there with the hallucinated Phoenix. Does see the army marching straight across the map. It's a good thing that he came straight across the map, or that probably could have ended a little bit poorly. So now Rush decides, well, all right, he's pretty much right there. I need a bigger army to deal with this. So he's going to get down. There's a few more supply depots because he's actually pretty caught on this 86 right now. He's 86 at 86. Oh, do you hear what I did there? I made a reference to things. And he's going to come out and try to catch some high ground view with the factory, which I find kind of strange because he's got medevacs on the way out as well. So maybe he's just going to try to utilize the factory and just use that since it is expendable. There's a number more gateways coming down. Not too much in the way of upgrades right now for Griff, and I'm a little bit worried about this totally boxed in robotics bay or facility right there. Not moving up into Colossus, even though he probably knows what he's looking at. So now we see We see that Rush is just having a look up the ramp to see what he's up against. Does not see the Immortals parked at the back. Sends out another Phoenix, so Griff knows approximately how big this army is. Does see the Medivacs. I'm not sure if he's going to try to prepare himself out here at the side, but he's got a couple of Oracles moving in. He's just got the one single Oracle, so he's a bit late for that, but the problem is that right now Griff does not see this drop happening up here at the top. He did see the Medivac, but now that Oracle does give him a tiny amount of time just to look at that, but it is not good enough. And so now at the exact same time, the factory starts moving in, but the factory sadly is not going to do too much. The Oracle up here is doing a little bit of work. Does have a couple kills on it. 9 kills right now. These Marines are going to take that out, and actually did not get all that much out of this drop up here, but Griff did really, really well down here, certainly cutting down on the mining time of Rush at the exact same time. But now up here in the top, we have the factory. Well, the factory's just dying really fast, so that doesn't really matter. But up in the production value, that is now the army supplies are remarkably similar right now, and it's actually going... there's another scan right there for Rush. I didn't see where it was. I'm not sure if he's scanning for a third. This factory's not going to last too long, so we're not going to see too many in the way of Widow Mines, but now we have 2 Oracles down here, still cracking down the Oracles, and it looks like these SCVs are going to move down, so Rush just making sure that he can maintain this position out here. I'm not too sure about this move out here from that guy Griff. He's feeling pretty confident, but once he moves into the middle of the map here, and I'm really worried because the Mothership Core is going to get totally caught out of position, and the remainder of these units, Griff's army does spot a few of these retreating Medivacs, and they are going to do a fair number, but the problem is he's not quite moving all as one, and they've already lost their Mothership Core. That was just poor timing. That was just not the best thing that could have happened at that moment, and now it looks like Griff is going to lose 100% of his army, and that is pretty much it. That was poor luck right there. Now, wait a minute. I'm going to try to remember what my... Oh, yeah, there we go. So we're in... I had to get my... There we go. So we're going over to the Rush wins. The Rush wins screen once more. And there we go. 2-0. Moving up to the 2-0. Let's see here. We got... how many games? It's the best of 5. Griff managed to get a nice Oracle hit. It was well scouted. So he had a lot banked. He had quite a lot going on over there. But at the same time, man, that was something tight. That was hot. I really like that. Lost the handle on